WhiskyCast. Brought to you by Redbreast, the definitive single pot still Irish whiskey. Those in the know Redbreast.
Welcome to another episode of WhiskyCast HD. I'm Mark Gillespie, and this time around I'm on the banks of the River Spey in Scotland. The Spey is home to fish, wildlife, and, of course, whiskey. More than 50 of Scotland's whiskey distilleries are located in the Speyside area, and there's a lot of spirit here in Speyside. Unless you see the barrels, you might not know there's a festival on. Scots like to do things low-key, and as spread out as the Speyside region is, you won't find hundreds of people in one place for a single event. And the intimacy is what makes the Spirit of Speyside Festival different. There's as much of an emphasis on culture as there is whiskey, with concerts every night, traditional ceilidhs, and the vintage train runs almost non-stop between Dufton and Keith along the old tracks that pass by distilleries from the Balvenie to Strathisla.
In Poland, whiskey is not so popular as in here, and before coming here, I didn't have idea that there is so many whiskies in the world, or in Scotland, and there are so many varieties, so many different stuff. I was quite shocked when I first entered just random whiskey shop, and I saw shelves filled with whiskey bottles.
But you'd better know a little about geography, or you'll get lost in Speyside. The region stretches from near Inverness on the west to Banff on the east, with the Spey River at its core, and distilleries tucked away in the hills and valleys, almost every one with something special planned for the festival. At the extreme southern end, Speyside Distillery in Kingussie, where the Spey's global ambassador, soccer star Michael Owen, was on hand for a surprise meet and greet during a tour. The 2015 festival was the first time the distillery has ever been open for tours.
We don't really have the facilities for tourists. We certainly don't have the facilities for people just calling in on an ad hoc basis. What we have liked doing, working with the Spirit of Speyside Festival, is to have selective groups coming in to help share this beautiful distillery.
And at the heart of the region in Elgin, Linkwood Distillery, where a sign warns that guard dogs may be roaming.
12.5 tons with a valid bottom.
But during the festival, only the copper dogs are around, as the Off-Limits Distillery opens its doors to guests from around the world, including a mother and daughter from Missouri.
It's a little cold, but it's very, very beautiful. We've been through every season, I think, in the last 2 days of weather possible. It's been great fun. We've had a great time. It's absolutely gorgeous. You just don't see the old buildings and architecture and what you have here anywhere near in the States.
If you take any great boat.
Volunteers started the festival in 1999, hoping to get a few visitors to the region before the usual summer rush.
This used to be a really, really quiet week on Speyside. Nothing happened at all, and there was hardly a bed to be sold in a bedroom about 15 years ago. And the idea was that we would try and create something that brought people to Speyside using the fantastic and the world-renowned whiskies that we've got. Everybody, whether you're in a bar in Rio or Japan or whatever, you've heard of Glenfiddich, you've heard of Glenlivet, Glen Grant. So we wanted to capture the marketing that these companies have done over the last 20 or 30 years and actually make them aware that this is where the whiskey is made. And I've got to say the whiskey. I mean, we have 50 distilleries within about 20 miles of us in a radius here, and there's only 100 in Scotland, so we've got more than half of them almost where we're standing today.
Now, there's not a hotel room to be had anywhere in the region on this bank holiday weekend at the beginning of May, and the timing coincided perfectly with the global resurgence of interest in Scotch whisky. 2015 has been declared the year of Scottish food and drink, and Speyside's impact is felt worldwide.
We have an amazing larder here in Scotland, and of course we have the Scotch whisky industry, which is huge and it's absolutely booming. So people around the world are more than ever before associating Scotland with top quality food and drink. And the Year of Food and Drink 2015 is all about celebrating our larder, celebrating Scotch whisky. And the Speyside Whisky Festival is a big part of the 2015 celebrations. Our industry is going through a revolution. More and more people who come to Scotland, the first thing they want to do is experience our local food and drink as part of their experience of visiting Scotland.
Yeah, having a good old run. Look at that.
It's impossible to get the entire flavor of the festival in just one visit, with more than 400 different events over 5 days. And that keeps people coming back year after year to catch the Spirit of Speyside and maybe a fish or two. For more Cask-Strength conversation on whiskies, with the people who make them and the people who drink them, join us each week for WhiskyCast. In Elgin, Scotland, I'm Mark Gillespie.